Good morning, guys. Today is our last day in Zion National Park, and I want to have a chat about not dying in the mountains, and in particular, not dying on kind of basic or beginner mountaineering adventures. Now, when I say mountaineering, what I'm really talking about is kind of like risky hiking stuff where there's not necessarily a predefined trail. You may have to use your hands and feet to kind of climb around and hold on to rocks. Some people call this scrambling. And while this type of adventuring gets you away from the crowds and is, in my opinion, some of the most fun you can have outdoors, definitely introduces some new risks, or at the very least magnifies pre-existing risks. We're through the tunnel and we're on the side of the park with all these little pullouts with a lot of the mountains that to us look climbable. Gonna see what we can find here. Got a spot marked on my map that we're moving towards, but if we see something before then, we'll just get out. Alright, so we pulled out a little restroom here. So there's the one we're trying to get to. I think it's called South Aerial Butte on the map. Gonna try to find a pullout that's closer though. Well, hoping we could get a little closer than this. Let's see. May regret not stopping here. It's gonna be hard to turn around. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna look on foot real quick if there's a better parking place a little closer. But I don't want to get up the one I'm in currently because it's hard to turn around. There's kind of a nicer pullout that leads to the line I want to try to take. Alright guys, so we've had a couple thoughts about this. To me, the cooler route would be to start here on this pretty, whatchamacallit, kind of take this long ridge line up to here and then make for the summit. Problem is it gets pretty steep right here. I'm not sure what this would look like versus starting over here, less cool, making it to this ridge line, crossing the ridge line and trying to summit. This seems probably easier, more doable. This seems cooler. Stephanie, leave it up to you. What do you want to do?
I'm going with the safer option.
We're gonna try to go up this way, get to the ridge line, and attack the summit from there. All right, people, let's give this a shot. Also slightly worried about the weather. Might storm on us while we're up there. But I've heard the safest place to be in the case of a lightning storm is up high, so we'll at least have that covered. Only a few feet off the road, but already, guys, I gotta say, this rock feels really grippy, so I think we're gonna have good traction. And while there's so much we could say about staying safe in the mountains, I want to highlight a few key mental strategies, a few concepts that I think will help you guys stay safe in the mountains. The first of these concepts I'd like to highlight is big world versus small world. When leading your own little adventures out here, you have to be able to zoom in, pay attention to the tiniest of details. Does that little rock I'm trying to grab onto sound hollow? Do I feel a little wiggle there? How's the traction under my feet? How about my center of gravity? Am I balanced here? Effectively recognizing and managing these sorts of issues requires making your world small. We're not dreading how many miles we have left. We're not thinking about problems that we might have in work or school. We're right here, right now, and we're focused on how our body is interfacing with the natural environment. But guys, that's not enough. You also have to be able to zoom out and make your world big. You have to be able to say, I'm not really feeling thirsty, but intellectually I know I need to drink. I know I need electrolytes. I need to think, what's the weather like? Is there a slippery, rocky section that I must get to before it starts raining? If fresh snow falls and covers the footsteps that I made in the old snow, will I be able to find my way back down the mountain? How cold was it last night? Could there be ice on this section of off-camber rock? And if so, would a fall there be fatal? Navigation and route finding may be the best example of a big world problem. I can't tell you guys how many times I've had to just slow down, zoom out, divorce myself from this moment, and think abstractly about the terrain ahead. If you make a bad navigational decision in the backcountry, you can end up wasting valuable time and energy. And more importantly, especially in the case of up climbing, you can get up on something that's very difficult to come back down. And so I think you can start to see, you gotta be able to zoom in and focus on just what's right in front of you. You gotta be able to zoom out and see the big picture. But maybe most importantly, you gotta be able to fluidly switch between these modes of thinking based on where you are on the mountain. Here's a good example. Stephanie needed to focus on each foot placement, testing the traction and asking herself, am I secure here? If she were to fall in this steep incline, she'd probably be able to stop herself, but maybe not before hitting the sharp rocks at the bottom. Wouldn't be a good place to fall. But after making it to the top, she has to zoom out and think about those storm clouds. If it were to rain, would she be able to safely navigate her way back down this incline, or would it be too slippery? If it be too slippery, is there an alternate way down? If she can't satisfactorily answer that question, it's probably time to think about turning around before it rains. These really beautiful striations in the rock. It's kind of hard to see because it's cloudy out, but it's really pretty. The actual summit does look a little bit sketchy. Not exactly sure if we're going to be able to claw our way up that. We just got to get over this last little band here. We've just about made it to the final little summit spire. I don't see a clear, easy way up. We're gonna walk around the base of it and try to find a decent attack point. Yeah, so this overhanging bit looks like a no-go, but maybe over here from the right. I think that this is gonna be our best bet. Hey Steph, yeah? Getting over here on this loose rock might be easier. Last little push to there. Probably gonna put my climbing shoes on right here, and we'll let Stephanie decide if she wants to give it a shot. Learning moment here, guys. See, I'm climbing with some loose rock here, and I left Stephanie directly below me. Something that got dislodged here could pretty easily hit her in the head, so this was a mistake. Alright, so I'm on this little ledge here, and thinking about going that way. But first, I'm gonna toss my climbing shoes on. This fella's a little bit in my way. Sorry, buddy. Trying to come through here. I'll have to try to go around it, I think. Whoa, okay. That's not a good handhold. Like crumbling. Not ideal. So this rock is not great. Okay. See, the rock's like sandy and breakable. Left foot down a couple more inches. Got it. Right foot down, you're good.
It's sketch.
Yeah, the rock is totally sketch.
Let's bring helmets.
Well, I mean, it's not about helmets. It's about breaking a hold and falling. I want to get a look at it from over on the right, maybe a bit more. All right, guys, we're gonna climb right back down to the other ledge and look around the corner to the right. See if we can find a better way up. This rock is kind of sandy and crumbly, and I've already broken a few holds. It's making me very nervous. Yeah, see, this is not good handhold, and a fall there would not be good. This is scaring me a little bit, in part because if you were to fall there, it'd be pretty bad. And honestly, just in part because I'm a bad climber. I think you guys that are good climbers would have no problem with this, but for me, not knowing much about this rock, having already broken some handholds, it feels a little bit sketchy. We just made the official call. We're gonna chicken out and head back down. Do you want me to go down first? Yeah, we could do that. Come back up. Okay, it may be easiest to get yourself back up on the mountain and to then turn and down climb, and I can guide you. So maybe get back up to a good resting point. Do you need help doing that?
Yes.
Okay, hold still. Okay, sit up there and rest for just a minute. Let's catch our breath and strategize. Take some deep breaths. So you see this right here? Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good handhold. Yeah, so our goal needs to be to get your feet where my feet are, because then you'll be able to go down that crack easily. So we got this little pocket right here. Mm-hmm. See this? Mm-hmm. That's there. This little pocket here. Here. I got this right here. And this thing, I don't super trust, but we can use it a little bit and push into the solid part of it, not down in a way that would break it.
It's further than I think. That sucks.
Yeah. So if you were to get your left foot though back in here in this crack and face the wall essentially, I wonder, yeah, if that could start to be, you mean get your way? Take your time. Your right foot is getting fairly close to the ledge below. I do think you could probably reach it down, your right foot. Okay, oh, you're like literally half an inch from touching. A little bit more. Yep, get some good solid handholds. You got this. Okay, your right foot is on a nice solid shelf. Yeah, your right foot's in a great spot. Yep, perfect. All right, and then you can just walk this ledge all the way down. You can even slide on your butt.
In my next life, I want to be tall.
Well, you're making up for it with skill. Just take your time. Yeah, the rain's not helping our cause. All right. Yeah, it's really starting to rain. Whoa. Okay, this is all very loose right here. It's because it's embedded in sand. Rock's getting wet, be careful. I'm gonna toss my shoes back on now. As Stephanie was saying, sometimes it's about the journey, not the destination. There's no prize for getting to the top. It's not life or death. I'm sure if it was life or death, we could force ourselves up a lot of different crazy things. Alright guys, this last concept is pretty simple. You might have already guessed it. It's just to know your limits out here in the mountains. It's important to not shy away from uncomfortable thoughts, and in particular, think about the kind of injuries you would sustain if you were to fall in a given location. Everyone has different tolerance to risk, and I can't tell you whether something is too risky or not. It's a judgment you have to make for yourself. But what I can say is at least be realistic, kind of face the consequences and then make your decision after, sort of doing a realistic evaluation of the danger. Let me run across first. All right, run. All right, people, we failed the mountain. Had a good time on it though. Hope you guys did too. Now we're headed to Salt Lake City.
You know what? I'm not saying that we failed it. I'm just saying that we didn't summit it. Because we got really close.
So basically, we failed it.
Oh my gosh.